Hi everyone! So as the title of this video says, I have a book review! Seconds ago, I just finished Days of Desire by Saranne Dawson. If you remember from my previous video, because I don't think I did it in a book review, but anyway, this is a 2-book bind-up. So I just finished the first book, which was 12 chapters. Yes, 12 chapters? Yes, 12 chapters. And at first when I started reading it, I didn't think I would like it. I don't love it. I did like this kind of story. It was okay. It was set in the 1980s, because the dude has a nice thick mustache, and there's VCRs and VHS. It's like, wow. Throwback time! Generally, the Days of Desire was a nice story. It was an okay story. I don't love it. The type of guy that Luke Casey is, not the kind of guy that I want to keep reading over and over again. What can I say? He's very blunt, and he's very forward. Very, very forward. And that's literally from back here, and literally, like, right at the beginning of the book. So I'm not really spoiling anything. You already know he's that way. Because, like, literally when you first meet him, he does something very forward. And, like, it's not that I'm opposed to people being forward. I'm sorry. I just have this most annoying thing going on right there. Ignore it. So, I don't have a problem with people being forward and all that. But this type of character, it feels way too pushy for my liking. It's just not my kind of man that I want to be with. Like, I like a little push, but yeah. It's just not what I like. And it did progressively get better, because when, like, the beginning half of the book, when they're on the cruise, because it says right at the beginning here, and literally, like, the first chapter says, they're on a cruise to nowhere. I didn't think I would like it. I didn't like it at all. But eventually, like, once he got past some things, I did eventually start liking it. The time period, most times I don't care about the time period. Most times. Like, I loved reading Ready Player One. You know that. I loved that. And it was about the 80s. It wasn't set in the 80s, it was set in the future. But I loved, the time period they talked about, a lot of, like, Dungeons and Dragons, and a lot of the games that they started to come out with, like, first time they started coming out with video games and such like that. The time period is fine, but the way Luke Casey looks and the way he acts is not the type of guy that I want to keep reading over and over again. That's really my problem with it. But some of you might like it. And, like, literally, there's certain things is like, why can't you do that? Why haven't you done that at all? Why haven't you done that since the beginning? Why just... Neither of them have done things. And at a certain point, yes, I can understand why you haven't done it, because it's part of your personality. It's part of the way you grew up and how you grew up. But, again, why did neither of you say anything? Why not? It's just really, kind of annoying. And then, like, literally the last chapter, like, the beginning of the last chapter, I liked it. And then there was a break, because then it moved forward literally it says it moved forward 3 days. And the amount of time that you are with them for, like, those 12 chapters is about 2 to 3 weeks. No, maybe not. The sort of progression that comes to is, like, yes, I did like that. I do like that. I do like how their love progressed and how their relationship progressed, like how they first meet to sort of the point at the 11th chapter. Chapter 12, definitely chapter 12 and, like, maybe half of chapter 11, I did not. At that point, it was just way too rushed. I did not like it. Or, like, literally the end of let's just say chapter 12. I did not like it a lot. The majority of it, I did not like. It's just too much rushing. But it's also Luke Casey's fault. It's his fault why I just did not like the time frame because, like, yeah. But again, all in all, this was an okay book. It wasn't my personal favorite. It was how can I say it? I enjoyed it for the time I did read it. You know, when I picked this up at, like, when it was in the library disposable, like, literally, yes, library. In the Terryberry Library. That's what I said. At the time, it was like, when I picked this up, like, and I hadn't read it, I was like, yay, it's another adult romance. I love adult romance. But then after reading it, it's like, okay. It's not my personal favorite. It's not making me want to keep it. Like, a tiny me is like, there's a possibility I might keep it, but at the same time, it's like, I kind of don't want to. The reason why there is a tiny, I may keep it is because I have started the second book, which is Private Intentions by Saranne Dawson. And that's the other one in this two-book bind-up. And I should... Alright, it's the beginning of the chapter. There it is. I am literally in the middle of chapter 1, and this has a prologue. Does it have an epilogue? I don't know if it has an epilogue. Oh, there's 13 chapters, which is including the prologue, because there is a prologue in the second book. And it's not, and like, neither of these characters are who they are. Well, it might be the second book's characters, but I'm having a hard time because we just got a description of the female. Doesn't look much like her. I'll just say that. Yeah. I don't know why they chose this cover so I'm going to read you the back now. He was a stranger protecting her family's estate, and Annalise suspected Max Armstrong was little more than a fortune hunter. Determined to keep him at arm's length, she played him for a fool as long as she could, but before long, Annalise was a victim of her own game. Lost in the embrace of the rugged guard, she could only hope that he wasn't out to break her heart and destroy her family name. Okay. Since reading, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to wait till I do an actual review for that. Yeah, I read this part here. Now I'm going to read this bottom part here. You deceived me, Annalise. You've been lying to me for days now. That's not true! At least I didn't do it intentionally. I would have told you everything eventually. Trust doesn't come easily to me, Max. You've got to understand that. Oh, I do, he said, taking a threatening step toward her. I understand that. You don't mind making love with a man you don't even trust. And I understand that you don't mind telling a man that you love him, so he'll just never suspect you're working against him all the time. What? Okay. From what I've already read, whatever. I don't care. From what I've already read, neither of these things make sense. Neither of them make sense to what I have already read in, like, the beginning of chapter 1. The prologue has nothing to do with that. Wait, yes, does have something to do with it, but not as much as the beginning of chapter 1. What the hell are you guys writing? Like, not you, audience, but, like, Saranne, what the hell? And, like, because this part here, that's directly from the book. But this I'm thinking is from the publisher, her agent, something like that. What are you guys writing? It does not make sense to to the beginning of chapter 1. Like, seriously? Ever since I got my nails, like, I like doing this, like. Yeah. Okay, so that is what I'm reading next. Undead and Unemployed is at my library right now, so I'll be picking it up on Monday. But Blood Promise is finally in transit. Finally, so should be able to, read it. Hopefully it will be there by Monday, and then I'll have 2 things to read. That's not good. The Undead and Unwed is an MP3 audiobook, so I should be able to get that done soon. Sooner than, like, reading Blood Promise. But, oh my god, Blood Promise, oh my god. So, I hope you like this little interesting book review. If you can find Days of Desire, go ahead, read it. It is an interesting read. Certainly a good filler if you want something like a little quick, just something quick and easy to read. Because literally this is technically would be categorized as a contemporary romance. I think you'd be able to find it as like an audiobook. Maybe. I think you should be able to find it on her the website they give for her. But you can type in her name and you should find stuff on her. I think she does have a list of stuff. She does, because I was trying to make sure that neither of these were part of a series. That's all. And they're not, so that's why I was reading these before, like, you know, Undead and Uneasy and that other big, this type of romance book. So, I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit that like button down there. And if this is your first time watching my video, hit the subscribe button down there by my picture. And you will get more of my book reviews, hauls, unboxing, unbagging, vlogmas, and eventually regular vlogs. And yes, this is my exposure. I have it at all the way over here, which is like -8, and I can't go any farther. So I am sorry about this exposure and my like brightness. And yeah, I will see you all in my next video, which I don't know what that'll be. Anyway, goodbye everyone.